right, welcome back to another episode of Max and Howard Drink Beer. I am still Max.
And I am still Howard.
Howard, what are we drinking here today?
You know, we're drinking one of MKE's finest. This is the first out of a sampler pack, and I lost count because I don't have enough toes to count. There's a lot of beers in that sampler pack. I want to say there's 5, maybe even 6 different beers in that sampler pack. So, I mean, it's kind of exciting. Never really been an MKE guy, but you know what? This is a perfect time to try it and see what's what. So, Max, today what we got is Louies Demise. It's an amber ale. I know you're not really big on the amber ales, you know, but we're giving it a try today. And Max is taking the first sip. He's going to tell you what you think while I take my first sip.
Yeah, this was definitely a need more than a want. I have needed a beer all day. You know, it's been one of those weeks. I know you've all had those kind of weeks. You know, so to add to this is just the icing on the cake, man. This is what I needed.
Yeah, it's refreshing, good.
Well, it's definitely because of where I'm forced to do different beers as trying them out. You know, so we've been doing a lot of ales.
Yep.
You know, so they're starting to grow on me.
Okay.
You know, which I guess is a good thing, right? If I'm going to criticize beers, I should probably have a refined palate.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we're getting fancy here with that, right?
Big words today. Big words. Yeah, you know, Louies Demise is kind of a cool beer because back in the good old days when I was the beer czar at the gun club, you know, I get to read the catalogs, you know, and it was like Nudie Magazine day, the day that they'd give you the lists of beer, the beer lists of the month. They'd give you all the discounts and they'd see what that was about. And that's actually kind of a funny story within itself. I'll keep it kind of short. The replacement beer rep for Beer Capital was too lazy to actually run through all the discounts, so he just said, here's the beer list. You can thumb through it and just let me know what you want.
Yeah, right.
And that's how I kind of figured out everything. Like, wait a minute. We could be saving a whole bunch of different monies in a whole bunch of different places if we order it like this.
Yep.
And so that's how I actually stumbled upon a beer like Louies Demise. The original owner of the Boxhorn Gun Club, his name was Louis Boxhorn. So we marketed the beer towards, you know, hey, this is Louies Demise. This is his beer. This is what he liked.
Well, and I do believe there's a couple of them, right?
There is a couple of them. This is the most popular one. The other one, I think it's only seasonal in the winter times. It's called Louis Resurrection. That is a barrel-aged Louies Demise, and that was really dangerous to have. Plus, it was really expensive. I kind of got yelled at by the director of operations for purchasing that beer, didn't I, director?
Oh, yeah.
You know, but that one was deadly. Do you remember? I think I've talked about this on air. Do you remember that day that I was trying to get Devin to drink that beer? And he's like, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
Well, I poured it in a glass and everything. Well, what are you supposed to do? So I chugged the whole thing. Just plugged my nose and drank the whole thing, and I was gone for the rest of the day. That was bad, and that was the day I think the drunkest person ever shot at Boxhorn. So that was pretty good time. Yeah, the other one is a Weekend at Louie's. That's like the summer beer, and that's like a blueberry, lemonade, ginger, blah blah blah.
Okay.
Louies Demise. Yeah.
So we're gonna backtrack a little bit for the resurrection. So the resurrection is actually this beer.
Yeah.
It's the same beer.
Yep.
Absolutely the same beer, but they age it for 2 months in the bourbon barrel.
Oh, only 2 months.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, 2 months of aging in fresh bourbon barrels.
Right, and
so that's the difference between Demise and Resurrection.
And that gave it such a sweeter taste. Like, you know, you would get that bourbon taste, and it was almost like, you know, a punch in the face, you know, because it was so sweet, you know, and I didn't like it, but there were so many guys that did. They drank 4 or 5 of them, and we'd have to carry them out because they'd get so wasted off of it. It was crazy. We had to get rid of it because it was starting to get bad.
Yeah, I remember it vaguely. It was an expensive beer.
It was double.
Yeah.
I think Louies Demise was 28, and I think Resurrection was like 49. And you're like, Howard, you dumb fuck.
I do believe those were the exact words.
What the fuck are you doing spending all my money?
Yeah, right?
So it was wild, and we had to up it, and that was when we kind of figured out people don't really mind paying $4 for a good beer.
Right.
So it was kind of wild, and we made a little extra coin off of that. And that was one of the cool things. So that was interesting, and all I ever talk about are my glory days being the beer czar. I tell all of my friends, so you and Sam.
we were there.
I never stopped talking about it, and that's why my whole family hates me, because that's all I talk about.
I feel like they hated you well before this.
Yeah, that's probably true. So yeah, that's that, and it's a decent beer. I'm not gonna say I'm more of a amber lager guy myself. It's a little bit silkier. This is like the Busch Light of amber beers, I would say.
Busch Light of amber beers.
It's a little rougher around the. Actually, Busch Heavy is pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm okay with Busch Heavy, but Busch Light's a little rough. This is a little rough, a little tough to drink.
It definitely kicks you a little, huh?
Yeah,
plucking out some nose hairs.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's that. Max, what about you? Would you rather drink an amber lager or a amber ale?
That's really a good question, honestly. You know me, I'm big on lagers as it is.
Right.
So I'd probably lean that way. I think it would honestly come down to the beer versus beer.
Beer versus beer.
To put the generalized category over it,
No, that makes sense.
It's hit or miss. I mean, if you go and take the Sprecher and you hand me their ale versus MKE versus, pick one, any of them.
Is the amber one an ale? And the amber Sprecher, that's an ale or a lager?
That is a good question.
I thought it was a lager. And we've talked about this too. There's so many different beers that are probably so much better on tap. I'll give you a good one. It's the Wisconsin Brewery's Badger Club. That's an amber lager, and that's really good. When you get that on tap, it's a really good beer. We used to drink that at the old Quaker Steak and Lube. Well, I did, and that was great.
Yep, sorry, that one is a Vienna-style lager.
Okay.
See how far I've been out of the game? I don't remember what my beers are anymore.
It's crazy how much it's changed since you've been there. You haven't even left that much, and since I've been gone, the whole world has changed. So that's kind of crazy to think about too. So
we got to go talk to the boys and girls over at Sprecher, because their website's showing some interesting things.
African style ale. I'd be interested in that. See what that tastes like. That's got to be close to Red Stripe.
And then you got the Belgian style triple ale.
Oh, that looks good.
So I mean, just things that are going on.
That looks good.
We'll get back to them at some point, but we did have some friends. I don't know if they're still there.
I don't either. I know the one girl is no longer there. I don't know what happened to her, but she was. I think PBA was her last day.
Well, I'm sure it had something to do with the fact that she was growing in the uterine area.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not one to say because I don't know. So, yeah, that's kind of that. So there you go. What are you playing?
I'm just going through stuff.
Huh.
Everybody keeps sending me things, and
I thought we were about to rock. Dude, I was rocking last night. I've been doing a song of the day on my Snappy chat. That's been pretty fun. A little bit of Roger Daltrey and Wilco Johnson. They did an album together, and that that's what it sounded like. So the end.
I mean, it was just an ad, but okay, I'll take your word for it.
You don't know what I'm talking about at all, do you?
I listen to probably about 10% of what you actually say.
Yeah, so do I.
And even that, I think I manipulated it so that I hear what I want to hear.
Yeah, I do that. That's called selective hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have that as well. That's why I should wear my hearing aid, so plugs the other end of the ear, so all the stuff can go in. Right.
So,
what you got?
So my sister is Snapchatting me
Okay.
while we're talking here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna include her in this. Hi, Gina.
Hi, Gina.
We know you don't listen to us.
She doesn't?
She doesn't listen to us when we're in the same room as her. Why would she listen to us on here?
She doesn't?
Apparently, my sister hiding up in the UP.
Yeah.
It's getting real warm up there, you know.
Oh.
So warm that she's got a wasp in her room.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen one.
And
That is warm.
So
Wow, it must be warmer up there than it is here.
it's not.
Oh. That's cool. There you go. There's a picture painted. Gina versus the Wasp.
Well,
just the,
well, Gina had apparently glass cleaner.
Oh, that's a good weapon.
And the wasp did not like the glass cleaner.
That makes sense.
So
did it fight back? You know, to dodge and dip and dive and dash and dodge the glass cleaner?
Don't believe so.
Okay, so
I believe it sat there and did one of these.
Oh man, Max did like a seizure thing. If you're not watching us on our live stream, we don't have a live stream.
I mean, if we ever find Colin, maybe we will have some videos.
I think he's lost.
But you know,
I don't even think Jarrah can find him.
Keeps him pretty hunkered down there with his mad beats that they're making for Jarrah.
With a Z?
She did just release her first single.
It's released?
Yes.
Okay, so I could listen to it?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know where because
I don't know when.
I don't know how.
I don't know why.
Probably with your ears.
Okay.
They are also our friends who we're trying to outdo on the podcast. Do you remember what their podcast is called?
I don't think they remember what their podcast is called.
It's called Let's Talk Shit About Max and Howard because they're drinking beer and we're not.
That's what they're doing? That's the name of the podcast?
I think it should be.
Son of a bitch.
I'm pretty sure, right?
So should we rename our podcast? Max and Howard talk shit about Jarrah and Colin talking shit about Max and Howard?
I feel like that would be a good title for a podcast, right? It's not too long.
No, it's not long enough.
So, yeah, if you're bored and you like have kids or something,
or something, or if you're a kid,
they do a podcast talking about things their kids make them watch. So,
which is weird. Who gave them the remote?
Hey man, based off of what I saw, those kids are both pretty crafty.
The one is talking now. That's cool.
I heard she doesn't stop talking.
Oh, yeah, that would have to be annoying. That's kind of the downside of having kids, I guess. But
that's why Colin and Jarrah, you have kids, and we don't.
Yeah, that's true. Because we like to do the talking.
Right. Well,
shut up and listen to me.
I do believe the proper saying is you shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
That's right.
Yep, a little scoopism for you.
That's right. And we'll have to... Are they still running Gillies?
I know for a fact, yes.
That's good. That's cool.
So we'll have to pop in there one day and see our good buddy Scoop.
I would like to do that.
The custard baron of Milwaukee.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah.
I
feel like that's what he is, right?
Yeah, I think it's too Irish to be a baron. I think that's Belgium. Hey, yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, so Howard, what else do you got?
What else do I got, Max? I have breaking news.
Breaking news.
I'm so excited to announce this, and I wasn't going to announce this until later. Oh man, NASCAR is back.
It's back.
It's coming back. By the time this show gets released, they'll probably be racing. They're going to start May 17th, and it's the first sport to be officially back. So, very excited. I know there's a lot of people that are not interested in turn left. That's fine. I don't care. I'm excited. You should be excited. And my sport is here and your sport is not. So shut up and like it. I'm excited. The best part of all of this is, I do the whole Twitter thing and I get to see what everybody says.
Right,
It's so cool to watch all of the, I guess the best word to describe them is all the media Debbie Downers are saying, oh, this is such a bad idea. What are we going to do if this happens? What are we going to do if that happens? And everybody says, I don't care. We're just going to fucking go. Let's do it. And whatever happens, happens. And we'll go from there. And, dude, I am all fucking in. I'm so excited. It's going to be weird. And I'll tell you why.
Okay, tell me why.
They're going to do 2 races in Darlington.
Okay.
And then they're going to do 2 races at Charlotte. But they still want to keep the Darlington and Charlotte races in for the chase. So that means they're both going to have at least 3 races, for the season. So what does that mean? Who loses out on that? Who's going to lose that race? But, hey, like they said, we're just running it and seeing what happens. And, dude, the more I think about it, the cooler it is. Roger Goodell gave up his whole salary for the whole year, to do whatever Roger Goodell does with his $40 million a year.
No shit.
But Jim France, he didn't have to do any of that. He said, fuck it, let's go racing. We're not even going to fuck around. Let's get it back in gear. Let's get her done. Let's make it happen. Jim France is my president. That's right.
I don't think you can say that on TV.
I'm saying that right here. May God himself, Bill France Sr., strike me down. So, that's the breaking news. Sports are back. It's not your sport. It's my sport. It's back.
I do believe what Howard is saying to everybody is you should have chose a better sport.
That's right. Dick Trickle for life. And that's the other cool thing, if you're a big Wisconsin fan, you live and breathe everything Wisconsin. Matt Kenseth is going to be back in a car.
Yeah, I heard that.
He's going to be back in the 42 car because the previous driver said the N word, and that's bad. That's banned. You're not allowed to say that word ever again. So he's out. And so Matt Kenseth is in. He's in another good car, another legendary car, and he's going to win the whole championship. I'm calling it
he's
right
gonna win
now.
The whole championship.
The whole thing, he's going to win it. That's the guy to win this year. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. From the desk of Howard, Matt Kenseth will be your 2020 champion. Asterisk or no asterisk, I don't care. It's going to happen. On Wisconsin.
So let me ask you some questions here about this. So
I'm not taking any questions.
So, but if we're going through this, right?
Yeah.
So he's how many races behind?
It doesn't matter because he's been him and Ryan Newman, who got that bad wreck at Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Ryan Newman will also be back in the racing.
Nice.
They've waived the championship requirements. They can race for a championship.
Nice.
If either of them win a race this year, they're in the chase for the cup for the last 10 races.
I was gonna say points wise, how many? They're pretty far. They don't have any points.
Ryan Newman does. That's actually, but it does. If they're in the top 30, however that may happen, and if they win a race, which that could happen as well, they're in the thing. So that's the interesting part of this chase. I know a lot of the diehards, we've talked to a lot of diehards. They hate that. They hate that whole deal. You have the one race in and you win thing. Yep. They hate it. But that's what's going to get the millennials. That's what's going to get the Gen Xers interested in it. There's a whole new twist and turn to that, and I think that's exciting. So yeah, they can absolutely win the championship if all they need to do. And both of those guys, Ryan Newman is super talented. Oh yeah, he is a wheelman through and through, and he's a Purdue graduate. So he knows all the inner workings of everything he needs to do.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna show up.
He's at least gonna make a fight, and he's gonna kick somebody out. So that'll be interesting.
The fact of the matter of after that crash, to be back.
Oh, as quickly as he did
within the season. I mean, what was it? Was it 2 days? He walked out.
It's like the coronavirus happened for Ryan Newman. And it's cool. I'm excited. That'll be cool. Because I think he'll be there. Matt Kenseth is a dog. He doesn't fuck around either. And especially in pretty decent equipment. It's not the best in the series, but it's sloppy seconds from Hendricks. So
sorry, don't mind me. I'm making faces at the dog.
That's okay. The dog's making faces at you.
Yeah, usually.
And I'm a little excited. I don't know if you can tell.
A little excited?
A little excited.
How excited?
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably got 4 zeros somewhere. I don't know.
See,
where.
I thought you were gonna say it was Rosie O'Donnell.
Because I spent
on a scale from 1 to 10.
That day that I read that, I spent half of the day pacing around my apartment, just planning the whole season. Because I'm very important in the NASCAR community.
It's true. Other people have actually liked your tweets.
Yeah, like all 10 of them. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's important,
that's
man.
Something.
At our level,
Yeah, like the head of the team, Blaney fan club or something. I think that was a big deal. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Howard, so we're wrapping up on this. We gotta finish up talking about this beer.
Yeah.
So what do you think on our beer tasting notes score sheet? 1 to 5. Where would you put it?
Because of bias of needed a beer all weakness.
Yeah.
I'd give this a 3. On a normal day, I'd say 2.5. It's not my favorite beer of all time. It never really was. I really just like the gimmick because I was a big Louis Boxhorn fan back in the Dizzy. Dizzy, yeah. And so I like the gimmick. The beer is good today. Do you remember, now that I think about it, do you remember, dude, it was just like the whole batch was bad. We bought 2 or 3 cases and they were just all like skunky and weird.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And that's maybe why I'm not too big into the Louies Demise. But
yeah, our rep definitely did us dirty a couple times there.
I don't know if that was his fault.
He would always bring it in, at least when I was there.
Huh. Yeah, well, and that's part of my bias as well. But today, it's a solid 3.
Yeah, I'd agree with you right there at the solid 3. I don't fully remember the scale, but I know somewhere in between I wouldn't go out of my way to get one, but if it was there, I'd drink it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? That's about where 3 sits, I think.
It beats, Corona without a lime. It beats Miller Lite. I think Miller Lite's the lowest of the low. I think that's like a -2.
Yeah, no, I definitely, if somebody says, hey, do you want a beer? Yeah, what do you got? And you say Miller Lite, I go, I'll have water.
Yeah.
Or hey, that puddle over there, yeah, I'll drink out of that. I did not like that.
It's the same water, technically.
Well, on that note, Howard, my beer is almost empty, so it means that is the time of the day. Everybody, thank you again for listening to Max and Howard Drink Beer. Once again, I am Max.
And I am Howard.
Cheers.
Cheers.